In this video, we're going to talk about a graph of function and their domain and range. And this is the next video to the video that I did previously on this topic on the graph of function and the domain and range. So let's get started. Okay, so if you guys got the sort of expression that look like this, if it's like 2 over 3 and x raised to, just the same as 4 over 5, this whole type of expressions that has even uh, in the denominator and also all on the denominator. If you guess, this is actually a power, so let me just make it accurate. So this is like a power, it's x raised to the 4 over 5. So if you guys got this type of power functions, where my graph is gonna look like this, where my graph will be, okay, so our graph is gonna look like this. It will be, it look like kind of like a graph sort of, I mean, a tree sort of stuff. Let me make it accurate. It's just like this. Now, see that? So this is what my graph is gonna look like if you guys got this type of expressions that has, even on the denominator and also all in the denominator within the power. So this is what my graph is gonna look like. So what about the domain range? Where my domain is gonna be all the real numbers. But my range is gonna change though, since I got this graph over here. It does not touch this part. So what I mean by that is just since if you guys remember in the previous video that I said that if the function is like this, or if it is odd function, the graph is like this, and the domain and range, not the stuff, the graph is like this, and the domain and range are real number and real number. They all are real number, and the reason for that is look at the graph. Touch both sides. But when you see this graph, look at this one. This one only touched this part. So, either the domain or the range is going to change. It cannot be, both cannot be a real number. So for that reason, my range is going to change. My range is going to be 0 is less than or equals to y is less than or equals to uh, infinity. So that's my range. So this is it. So this is it. This is the graph of this type of functions. Now let's go to some other functions. Well, and if you guys got the type of function or expression that look like -2/3 is the same as the previous one, but the only difference is we got negative. So if we got negative, if it is like this, and if you guys got a negative side, if you guys got a negative side, where my graph is gonna look like this. Let me do some graph. My graph is gonna look like this. Okay, so my graph is gonna change. It's not the same as the previous one. It's not gonna pitch actually. It's not gonna touch. It just no. It just goes this way. So this is what my graph is gonna be. It's not gonna touch the line. This line is not gonna be touched by this one, but it just goes this way. So this is what my graph is gonna look like if I got this type of function with the negative power. So, and this is even, and this is even, and this is odd. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so what about the domain range? The domain and range will be my domain is gonna be uh, a real number, and my range is gonna be, since my graph is over here, my range is gonna be positive real number since my graph is over here. Okay, so now let's go to some other one that looks like this, but with some with a little difference though. So what if you guys got the type of function that look like this? If it is like this, or -4/3 sort of stuff, and there's negative over here. So right now we got negative on both sides. On the power side, we also got over here. So we got, if you guys got the negative side on both sides, your graph is gonna be like this. It will go down. The previous one was up because there was only one negative, but this one's gonna go down since we got, negative on both sides. Well, my domain is the same as the previous one. It's just a real number. This one is not zero, it's just equal sign. So a real number except zero. And my range is also gonna be not a real number, but a negative real number. The previous one was positive because the graph was on this side, but this one is negative because it's just on this side or on the negative side. So this is what it looks like if you guys get the type of expression that look like this. And then the second one is, and if you guys get the type of function or expression that look like 1 over 2 and expressed to the 3 over 4, this all sort of stuff. Well, my graph, or if you guys got this type of function, your graph is gonna be different. It looks like this one. This one is gonna be let me make it accurate. So okay, so this is what it looks like. So this is what my graph is gonna look like if I got this type of expressions. And the reason that I have this type of graph is because I got, this odd function and also even function. If you guys remember the previous questions where there was even over here and there was odd over here. But this one's different because we got odd on the denominator. And in addition to that, the odd is less than the even. So if the odd is less than the even, you guys gonna have this type of graph. And your domain and the range will be, your domain is going to be uh, all the positive real numbers, and your range is also going to be the same, all the positive real numbers. So this is what it looks like if you guys got this type of expressions or this type of functions. Well, the last one will be what if you guys got this type of expressions? If it is x raised to 3 over 2 and also x raised to the 5 over 4 extra, we can also add, like, if it is, let's just make some odd function, 7 over an even, whatever the even function is. It can be, 6. So, and if you guys got this type of expression, well, my graph is gonna look like this. It will be like this. Since I got the odd and the even, so in the previous one, if you guys remember, but actually my graph is gonna look like this actually. I don't know. My graph is gonna look like this. And the reason that I just make it like this is the previous one was this one, but this one is like this. And the reason that it looks like this is because in the previous question or in the previous expressions, this odd was less than the even, but now this odd is greater than the even. So if the odd is greater than the even, the graph is gonna look like this. But if the odd is less than the even, then the graph is gonna look like this. So that's the only difference. So look at this. This odd is always greater than this even, this odd is greater than this even. If this is the case, then my graph is going to look like this. But if my odd function, or if my odd function is less than, then my graph is going to be the previous one. So what about the domain and range? Well, my domain and range is, the domain will be the same as the previous one. It will be positive real number, and my range is also going to be the same as the previous one, that is positive real number. So the only difference between this expression and the previous is, these two tricks. If the odd is greater than the even, it means that my graph is like this. And if the odd is, if it is like 1 over 2, if the odd is less than the even, my graph is gonna look like this. So that's the only difference, and that's it for this video, guys. And thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys haven't seen my previous video, I want you guys to check it out. So thanks for watching. I also got a lot of other uh, algebra and all type of mathematical things and questions, and I want you guys to check it out. Those all videos too. So thanks for watching.